Welcome back to Dad's Fox Body Garage. Again, it is a cold Sunday afternoon going on evening. About 24 degrees here in the mitten. And just wanted to give you a quick update on our 351 engine build. As you remember, we started out with something that looked similar to that. Maybe not quite as gross. Sent her off to the machine shop, and a week later, got her back. Just unloaded it a little while ago, and went inside for some lunch. Came back out, and here she is. You know, having a vehicle like the old White Buffalo here really helps in transporting things like this, because it sits real low. I can connect the back of the engine stand right to the block, and then I actually just stick a jack under the trailer hitch, jack it up until it all lines up, and then just pretty much let the jack down, pull the motor out. So it's really handy to have a nice vehicle like that, and especially I can transport it in the inside, so it's not getting, you know, full of snow or anything. But no, I should leave it open. The sun helps. Yeah. So as you can see, I'll spin this around here. We got cam bearings done, freeze plugs, and it oh, and I also got it honed. I'll flip it over and you can see that. And that's it. So well, I shouldn't say that's it. I had it ran through their wash machine, and it's not a acid bath. It's more like just a big dishwasher. Removes all the grease and grime, but if there's rust on it, it doesn't do anything with the rust. Which this block doesn't have much rust on it. There's a little bit of surface rust on the outside here, you can see. But I got a lot of work to do on this block, and it's going to get a bath, and it's going to get some wire brushing and all that stuff, and rinsed out thoroughly. But the great news is bores just got honed, and I sent my bore gauge in and checked them out. We're at 4 inches and 3/1000ths, which is right in the mean of our tolerance on this block. So factory Ford tolerance is 4 inches 2/1000ths to 4 inches and 4/1000ths. And we can see here, you can still see the original line from where they put the slight lead in, and then the cross hatching on there. It came out super nice. There's a couple little blemishes in the sidewall here, but honestly, I'm not going to worry about that. The engine that's in Calypso had similar characteristics, and it's been in there 3 years, and you know, it's lived, you know, I'll say a short but harsh life, right? I mean, the whole purpose of the car is to go have fun with it. So you know, it's under load a lot, I guess is what I'm saying, although the miles are low, and I've had 0 issues with that motor. So you know, as you can see from the top here going around, really is in good shape. I told him to check the head deck also, and if it needed decked, to deck it, but if it didn't, I didn't want that done, because I'm looking for, I know they only take a minimum amount out, but I'm looking to save money where I can. Just don't have a ton of money to throw at everything on these builds, and if something doesn't need it, it doesn't need it, you know, just to make it shiny. And they inspected it. They ran their indicator along it when they were doing their honing and everything. And they set up off the crank bore to do the honing, which is pretty cool. So they checked the headboard or the head deck the same way, and they said everything was spot on. They said there was no need to do anything. So that's a win, a big win for me. Saves me money there too. So I got her all oiled up. You can see it's really quite wet. You can't put too much oil, or I use WD-40, you know, on bare metal, because you don't want any rust. And I did the same with the crankshaft here. I had them polish it. You can't feel any lines in the crankshaft now. You know, normally you'd have the there'd be like an oil buildup line in between the rods. You know, everything's been polished out. I do see that I'm going to need a sleeve on the back seal area for the rear main, because there is a little bit of a groove worn in there, but again, not a big deal. I didn't know about that when I built Calypso, and I probably should have done it at that time, but I ended up doing that just recently. But for now, I'm going to just bag these two things. They're all oiled up, and now it's a waiting game on trying to locate a set of pistons. Again, I'm standard bore, and I want to keep with the pretty much a stock compression ratio of 8.8 to 9-ish, because I'm going to use the supercharger that's currently on Calypso, and I have intake adapters on the shelf. So I'd like to, you know, be able to run pump gas and still have decent power. I don't want to go with flat tops. So I think the only one I've found so far, it's like DSS or BSS or something like that. I have to look it up again. But gonna have to save some money for them. So if I'm going to go that route, but I'd really like to find somebody that has a nice set of used forged pistons, or something they didn't put together. You know, they purchased them and never used them. So if anybody out there has something like that, standard bore, please reach out to me, because I'd really like to put forged pistons back in, not the hyper or the cast, like the stock pistons. Oh, they're in the box over here. But I'm going to stick with the original rods, I think. No reason to change that. And should have a pretty stout motor. You know, 351 can hold a lot more power than a 302. And I think, like I've said before, I believe that, you know, we're really at the limits of the block right now. I don't drag race it per se. I just, you know, mess around on the street and whatnot. So I think it's pretty safe right now. But over this year, we're going to continue, you know, working on Stormtrooper and on Calypso, and building this motor in the background. And the ultimate plan is going to be to pull the long block out of Calypso, pull the blower off, and put it in the Stormtrooper, because without the supercharger on there, you know, basically we have an Explorer block with a B cam and AFR 185 heads. So not a rowdy setup at all. It's, you know, the supercharger, and well, the heads make it breathe a lot better, but supercharger makes it a little rowdy. But we're gonna put that in the Stormtrooper, because even though the Stormtrooper does have low miles, it's been in that car for, what, 35 years. And hoses are crispy. Vacuum lines are, you know, crispy also. It's leaking out of every orifice. Just use a freshen up. Still runs like a top. Probably just pull the motor out and put it on a stand and eventually go through that whole motor, just to have it, you know, for something else that might come down the line. But I'd like to do a on-3 turbo kit on the Stormtrooper, because then it'll drive normal, you know, most of the time. You know, you know, have a little bit more of a lope to a cam. If I keep the B cam, I might go back down in size on that. But that's down the road. But I love the car. I'm never gonna have another one as nice as this, so I figure, you know, let's give it a little more, you know, punch in the seat of the pants kind of thing, and but still drive like a nice stock car, kind of like a GT car where it's got air conditioning. GT, I mean like Grand Touring, not like a Mustang GT. You have air conditioning, but yet you have you got a little punch to it because it's pretty anemic right now with the stock horsepower. But these are all plans that are going to be down the road, you know, as I have time and money and all that stuff. But you got to have a plan. I think in life it's good to have a plan for, you know, as much as you can anyways, for everything, because there's enough in life that happened without you having a plan. But I digress. So the other motor here that's in the background, I think this one is going to be like an around to it kind of thing. Like maybe I'll get it hot tanked, you know, when I got a few extra bucks to get it tanked, and then maybe send it out and get it bored and all that. Because this, I believe I'm going to build this motor as a naturally aspirated higher compression motor, and you never know, you know, maybe I'll pick up a first gen Mustang or something like that in the near future. But again, I like building motors, you know. I really enjoy the motor part, not so much the paint and body stuff, although I've had a really fun time working on this hood over here. But I'm sure once I get into the the filling and sanding and painting of that, I'll be about done doing that. But it has been really fun to work on creating that, and we are going to finish that up. But it's just been bitter cold, and you know, life is busy right during the week. So and this weekend was pretty busy too, and you know, we got the Super Bowl tonight, so I'm actually going to head in pretty soon for that. I just wanted to come out here and give you a quick update on what's going on and show you what you get, or what you can get at your local machine shop still. A shout out to the guys over at Mid 5 Auto in Livonia. I've used them, well heck, I grew up in Livonia, so since I was a kid, for doing machine work and stuff. So they did the engine the same way in this car, the hone versus boring, and if you can do that, it can save you a lot of money and time. Like I said, I got this thing back in a week. A week, guys. You know, that's really unheard of these days. If you got to go in and get it bored and decked and all that, it could be in there for months. Not that I needed it right away, but you know, if you're local to Metro Detroit, check out Mid 5. They're great. They're in Livonia, and polish cranks, hone, do everything right in-house there. So I don't know if they do the boring in-house, but they used to. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for joining. Thanks for following along on these builds. You know, I know they're not your high-end glamorous stuff, but it's you know, I'm just a guy that likes cars, likes these old, you know, crusty old Fox bodies that I grew up in, and you know, like building them, taking them apart. You know, what do they say? You know, wash, rinse, repeat kind of thing. You know, you run it, you break it, you fix it, you repeat, right? I mean, it's just good times. I really enjoy it, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that enjoy them as well. So thanks again for watching.